Now, like I said, this is a representation of the data that I collected from the student surveys last week. Some of them asked for your height in centimeters. So if you notice here, I have the frequency, meaning that's the number of students, how many students said that, and the student height. Now, if you notice the student height, I don't have an actual height here. I have a range or an interval. That's why it's using, what do you call those things? Inequalities. Yes. So what it's saying here is 3 students had a height between 148 and 151 centimeters. So what we're going to do is I want us to find an estimated value for the mean. So that on average, what is the average height of these students? Here's from two different classes, from 2 classes. What is the average height of these students? Well, normally what you would do is instead of an interval, if this was a number, go back. This was a number, you would say, okay, let's say this was 150 instead of this interval. You would say, okay, 150 times 3, because 3 students had a height of 150. If this was 154 over here, then you'd say 8 students had a height of 154, and you'd go on and so on, and then you just add those up. Well, we have an interval, so our values can be anywhere in between these intervals. So we need something called a mid-interval. We have to take an average in order to find the average. It's like inception, midception, averageception. So that's okay. Just like mid-interval suggests is we need the average of the interval. We need that midpoint in the interval. So between 148 and 151, what is the mid-interval? Take the average. Whenever we want a number in Google Sheets or Excel, we press equal. That means we're going to find a number. We're going to calculate something. I want the average. So between 148, so 148, parentheses 148 plus 151, average is divide that by 2. Ooh, 149.5. So on average, these 3 students have an average height of 149.5 centimeters. Try that again. So for this one equals, notice how I'm just taking the 2 values I have here, the lower value and the higher value, 151 plus 154. The average, divide that by 2. Boom. I was thinking, Mr. Russ, it's going to take me all day. Well, watch this. I'm going to do it one more time. Equals, this one is 154 plus 157 divided by 2. Boom. Start to notice a pattern here. Well, if I go to my student heights over here, I notice that those intervals, aren't they increasing by 3 each time? Look at this. Oh, this is also increasing by 3 each time. Well, now I can just type this in. So 155.5 plus 3 is 158.5. Add another 3, 161.5. Read one more time, 164.5. 167.5. I love spreadsheets. 170.5. Last one, 173.5. Okay, so we've got all of our mid intervals. So now that I have my mid intervals, I can use these values to find the average mean. Because now I have definite intervals here, definite numbers, I should say. Again, what I'm showing you here is what people get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. All those people, companies, Wall Street, business people, they just use Excel. Excel does 90% of the math for them. Watch this. So again, I have 3 students on average, 149.5 centimeter height, which means that I need to go ahead and multiply to represent them all. Frequency times mid-interval. It's saying I have 3 students at that height, 8 students at that height, 7 students at that height, because that's how I'm going to find the average. So I'm going to get a number here. So equals I need to do, okay, that multiplied by, and to get the multiplication symbol, you use Shift 8, the little star. And then I'm going to click 149. Boom. Nice. All right, so you saw that Google Sheets tried to cheat for me. They got ahead of me because computers are smarter than us. So what it tried to do is it says, okay, based upon your table here and what you just did in this cell, I'm going to guess what you want for the rest. Well, you see this little square here? When you put your cursor there, it turns into a giant like cross. We're going to click that square and just drag it down. Ha, you see what it did? It did all those calculations for us. See, it multiplied that, multiplied that. Haha. This is why I love spreadsheets. Again, people get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. So now remember average or the mean, we take our total value of all of our data and then we divide it by the number of data points we have. So total, how many students do we have? Find the sum equals, look at that, already getting ahead of me. It's going to add how many students I have there. What it's doing is this, SUM, sum. This one, what it's saying is C3 to C11. What that means is it looks at column C here, column C, right here, column C, right there. And then it says, okay, from row 3 all the way down to 11, it's going to add these up for me. Ah, 36 students, good. I need the sum for my heights. So equals sum. Oh wait, it's just guessing it for me, good. So that's my total centimeters in height, or total height in centimeters, total number of students. Now I'm going to find the mean. Right, mean here, mean. Just put it right here. Make it a pretty color. Pretty, como yo, see? Como siempre, cada día. Okay. Now the mean is going to be, you're probably already ahead of me, you know this. So I'm going to do, it's my height divided by my students. So I take my average height, divide by, and I click number of students, 36. Ta-da! That's it. So simple. There's a way to do this on the graphing calculator, but you know, we're at home. This is virtual learning. Why not learn some virtual learning or some virtual skills? So this is what, just really quick right now, what I want you to practice with. Yes, I'll go over the last column really quick. So for the frequency mid-interval column, let me see. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so here. Equals. So it says to multiply the frequency. So I'm just multiplying across 3 times this, 3 times that. So I click that 3 times, and then I'll click my 149.5. Boom. Now, since Google Sheets and the computer is smarter than me, it already knows. Since it's in a table together, it knows it wants me to. It knows that I want to do the same thing all the way down. So I grab that little square there, just drag it down here. So now it did this for me. It multiplied all this together. So if I click on that, it says, oh, multiplied that. It multiplied that. Good. Good. Nice. Noise. Thank you. So I say equals. Now I need the sum. Just go up to sum there. Go to sum. Just click that. It's going to add these together for me. Now I can find the mean, which is just saying, oh, your height, your total heights divided by total number of students. And I did that here. I did total number of heights. I click that. This one, divide by total number of students. Boom.